Shepard, we're right on 79th and 10th, and it's really a roll of the dice here, just to try and give you a little bit of the flavor of what the scene looks like. There are 8 stoplights right over me. Excuse me, I'm doing a live shot right now. There's 8 stoplights right over me here, and all 8 of those are out. And as far down as you can go, there are no stoplights on either. So it's really a roll of the dice right now. As far as driving goes, people are supposed to make...
I'm trying to figure out when we...
Who's your buddy there, Steve?
Shep? I don't know.
Huh.
You're supposed to make a 4-way stop here, but obviously not everybody doing that. Some people just tearing through at 70 miles an hour. A lot of people still on their phones see this situation on the ground here with no stoplights. Some people trying to be very cautious. Other people really throwing caution to the wind here on 79th Street. Shep, back to you.
If memory serves me, it does not take a power outage to cause people to wander aimlessly in intersections around the area where you are there. This would be a normal sort of everyday thing, right?
That's right. You know yourself how chaotic driving is here, but consider it now with no stoplights and perhaps a big rainstorm on the way and darkness 2 or 3 hours away. Right now, I mean, for you to be in your car here just shooting through this at 50 miles an hour, you know, it's a risky lifestyle.
Who are these people? What was that?
I don't know what that was, Shepard. There's a lot going on here, and you know South Miami is kind of a place where people take chances to begin with. I think if we stay on this shot long enough, we're going to see somebody T-boned, because this street has really become a parking lot behind me, 10th and 79. They seem to have the dominant right-of-way now. These people on 10th are getting pretty impatient. I mean, if you want to wait for a car accident to happen, we're in the right place for it.
I'd rather one not, but all right. I've got a hilarious email here from Dave Eddy in Rapid City, South Dakota, who says, take a pill, you report, I'll decide. The excitement in their voice and the words you project use a strong anti-nuclear power generation attitude. I'm anti-lights out, anti-afternoon rain, anti-Steve Harrigan getting picked on by people on the street. I couldn't care less about nuclear power. Leave the power on. I don't care. Steve, how do you feel about nuclear power, Steve?
Staying out of that, Shepard. I'm just waiting. I'm just standing on the corner waiting for a fender bender.
We'll stay out of the way of it. Steve Harrigan live with us. WSVN 7's covering this thing. We'll stay with your pictures there, Steve, just in case. Email from somebody who calls himself or herself M. Hardy. I won't give you the rest, but you know who you are. I'm quoting here. It is appalling to see the way people are driving during this situation. Are they ignorant or just plain discourteous? Look, people drive different ways all over the country. Some areas, they're very, you know, sort of calm and relaxed, and you go first, kind of like Oxford, Mississippi. They sort of let you go first. Other areas of the country are more like New York. We're always in a hurry, you know, get in front of them. And then other areas are like South Florida. It's its own thing. God bless it. Love the South Florida. But the driving part, there you go. See that? Yoo-hoo! They drive differently than you do in the Midwest. So just watch them.
Memorial Hospital.
Steve Harrigan's out there. Steve, describe the drivers in South Florida. You've lived all over the world.
I don't know who he is. I mean, we need help when something like that happens.
From this ghetto, he could have killed me.
Listen to this. This is background for Steve Harrigan. Listen. Harrigan, are you listening?
Shepard, I am listening. We're having a little controversy here. You know, this has brought out a lot of people to see the sights, and we're getting some trouble from some of the locals, but I think we're all right.
I loved the background noise there. Viewers are asking if these drivers are just discourteous or are they rude or what. I told them it's South Florida. It's a whole different thing. You've lived all over the world. Describe the driving in the South Florida.
Shepard, let me tell you about the driving in South Florida. This will give me a minute or so to really vent, because I grew up in the suburbs of New York where people are polite, where people actually use turn signals. They don't down here to begin with.
Ever.
It's a very aggressive form of driving, and you've got 500,000 people on the road in Florida without driver's licenses, without insurances, driving old junkers. So you put your life in your hands when you drive here to begin with. You take away stoplights, and you are just rolling the dice here. We are seeing people, just look at that guy, buzz right through 40 or 50 miles an hour with no stoplights. The hell with everybody else. That's what we're seeing here on the roads, and it's going to get dark in another hour.
It's always kind of a roll of the dice, though, if I remember.
Yeah, it's a roll of the dice, but, you know, at least casinos have regulations and they have bouncers. And usually Florida has stoplights, but they don't have them today.
It sounded to me like you needed a bouncer a minute ago, Harrigan.
Well, you know, Shep, I think if I wasn't on the air, I could have settled that myself, not to boast. But I think the problem's been taken care of.
I'm confident that it has been. I've seen you in action. Steve Harrigan live at the intersection there of 79th Street, there you go, 79th Street and 10th Avenue, which is right in the heart of South Miami. It was on the 79th Street Causeway that many years coming off the 79th Street Causeway and headed into the city from the beach, that the local anchor Sally Fitz got carjacked back in the day when it really was the wild town back in the day, you know, early 80s, mid 80s. It was a mess down there, there's no question. And they had all kinds of crime problems, and this local station, WSVN7, brought it out, and I think is largely responsible for the changing of it all, because you can't have those kind of problems forever.